with an investor who reached financial freedom. Because the first question before you decide how much would you pay for an hour of time with an investor is, why would you want to? This is going to be one of my random midday live streams where I set a timer, and I'm probably not going to be answering questions in the comments. If you want questions answered, Tuesday afternoons, 4 p.m. Pacific, I answer all the questions that come in every week, over a year now, even when they ask me if I'm gay. I think I had a pretty good answer. But I want to do this as a live stream. And first I want to explain, why am I doing this as a live stream? I wanted to do this video, and I talked about it in my Tuesday live stream this week. But I think if I took the time to record the video, script the video, record the video, edit the video, I probably wouldn't post the video. Because there's a little bit of facetiousness in this video, but there's an actual honest number before this video is over, which will be less than 17 minutes. I'm going to say exactly how much it would cost for somebody to pay me for an hour of time. And I want to talk about why would somebody even do that if this is your first time to my channel. Not one of the people who come and are sharing the journey and sharing their experiences and telling me how they're reaching financial freedom using some of the strategies from not only myself, but Michael Zuber from One Rental at a Time, a Lumberjack Landlord, Millennial Mike, Beth Traverso, people who have made work optional by investing in real estate. But somebody who's never heard of me before. So this will be the Cliff Notes version. I won't waste your time, but this will be like less than a couple of minutes of why my information might matter. My content is designed to help the average person realize that you can reach financial freedom and make work completely optional in 10 years or less, even if you're not starting from the best position. That's basically my story. After 2008, I got laid off from a police department because of the recession. You know, when there's a recession, there's no more crime, so we don't need cops anymore. So a bunch of us got laid off. Makes total sense. And I was a single parent with 3 kids. I found out about $89,000 in bad debt in my name I didn't know existed until the divorce. After being laid off from the police department, I went to work for a company called Oak Harbor Freight Lines and started making about $115,000 a year. Thought I landed on my feet. And then they went on strike. So I started teaching at a truck driving school, making $17 an hour. That was my starting position just after the housing crash, being underwater on a house that I owned as well. I don't think I've ever brought that up. It's a fact, though. And it took 8 years to go from $89,000 in bad debt that I didn't know about, making $17 an hour, 8 years to financial independence, bad debt free, to where work was optional. I continued to work for 4 more years because I loved my job. I ended up being demoted all the way down to the president of the truck driving school and growing it from 1 campus to 5, and really liked the job. So I stayed for 4 more years. But when I hit the 4X number, that's where I had 4 times passive income coming in from real estate than my freedom number. It felt kind of silly to continue working. So I ended up retiring this year. So if anything that I just talked about sounds like something you would like to do, this is the channel for you. I call myself the lazy investor. I bought real estate 1 rental at a time, basically using the playbook right out of the book, 1 rental at a time by Michael Zuber, and made work optional. All my properties are from the MLS, all with conventional loans, no BRRRR, no flip, no creative financing, none of these fancy things that sound very sexy. Mine was very boring, and to me, boring is sexy because I now have multiple 6-figure income in profit that I pay 0 taxes on because I love this asset class without having to get out of bed. It takes me like 2 hours a month to manage my rental properties, and I can do it in bed with a laptop because I'm basically sending emails and text messages to handyman and contractors and tenants. And now that I'm using Hemlane, I might not even have to go to the properties to sign leases when I sign new tenants. Even if I'm in another country, I can do that. So I make this pretty hands-off, very lazy. And my kids will now inherit millions of dollars in property instead of inheriting a parent that they have to take care of when I'm old and can't take care of myself. So that's the person that I think a lot of people want that hour time with, because how this conversation really started was I started answering questions in Facebook groups from like the BiggerPockets Facebook groups. When people would ask questions, I had some knowledge and I thought I would share. That turned into people saying, hey, can we have a call? And there was a lot of the calls happening because I'm trying to help other people reach financial freedom as well as I did. And so I would take the call, and a lot of times it was window shoppers, people just completely wasting their time and my time because they're not going to invest. They just wanted to have a conversation with somebody who was willing to talk to them, which I was, but it ended up being like another job. And it is not my goal to create another job. I was reaching financial freedom because I'm lazy and I didn't want to have to work. Actually, I didn't want my sources of income to be taken away due to something outside of my control. So I wanted some control. That's really the reason. But the lazy is a big motivational factor. When you are as lazy as me, you will find a way to do everything the easiest way. Making money without having to work for it is very easy, very simple, not easy. Took some discipline. Took 8 years to reach financial freedom, financial independence, 12 years financial freedom, and retire. So my reason for financial freedom was time freedom. I wanted to be able to do whatever I want with my time. And sometimes that's just not get out of bed or make a video with no pants on. Oh, and on that note, I am going to make one analogy towards the end of this video that might not be kid friendly. So if you have kids, put on earbuds or have the kids out of the room, because it's one thing that I want to explain where I came to the price for the hour of my time. Why YouTube? Why did I start doing YouTube? I was answering questions and the same questions came up. How do you find a deal? How do you find a tenant? How do you screen a tenant? Should I have an LLC? What is a freedom number? How much money does it take to retire? Like all of the same kind of repetitious questions came in. And instead of saying, hey, let's have an hour-long phone call, here's a 10-minute video. Let me send you a link. If you'll put in the work of watching the 10-minute video, then, hey, maybe we'll have a call. Because now I've got somebody who has some skin in the game and might have a little background knowledge of how does a rental property work? Why buy and hold? Why real estate, not stocks? Why stocks, not crypto? Why crypto, not business? Why business, not whatever their reason is for how they want to invest? Now we can actually do something productive on that call. But again, it was turning into 20 hours a week, taking calls, helping people. And then 20 to 30 hours a week in the beginning, before I learned that you can cheat and do live streams. You don't have to edit them and save time. With YouTube, it became another job, and I wasn't making another job. I'm trying to share the information, but I'm not trying to create a business. I'm not trying to create a source of income. I'm not trying to create something like that. I'm trying to share the information in a way that gets it to the most people. So yes, I play the YouTube algorithm stuff with. At the beginning of the video, I ask a question. I try to come up with a thumbnail that makes you want to click on it. I'm not good at any of that stuff, but my channel is growing slowly, trying to get the information to more people. So in some of my live streams, I've actually asked the question, kind of like my binder strategy, where I get my tenants to ask me to raise the rent. That video is here on YouTube too, just Dion Talk binder strategy, you'll find it. It's a lot easier to find rental properties that cash flow on the MLS if you know your tenants are going to ask you to raise the rent with confidence, because so far it hasn't happened once where it didn't go up a lot more than I would have raised the rent. But I started asking the viewers, so if I was going to charge for an hour of my time, because I'm not trying to create another job, so I don't want to waste time. So if somebody's going to actually spend some money on this hour, they might actually do something with the time and it will be a little bit more productive and they're not going to waste my time or their time. And a lot of the viewers said 150 an hour, 200 an hour sounded fair. And that actually sounds like sound business. You know, it's compensating me for my time enough like a job would. And the person is spending enough to gain the knowledge from somebody like me that doesn't have their assets, resources, goals, and isn't going to be a financial advisor, but can tell them from my point of view, with your limited time that you've shared your information with me, here's what I would do in that situation, or how I did it in that situation when I had the similar barrier, right? It totally made sense. But I don't want to create a job. And then I watch my friends, Lumberjack Landlord, who I see, I haven't read the message, but I see in the chat, hey, Matt, thanks for hanging out with me on a random midday live stream. And Michael Zuber, they have so much information to share. They have massive portfolios, a totally different investing strategy than what I've used. I'm the simple, lazy, the least amount of units with the most amount of cash flow, and they are building a machine that will continue to grow and create generational wealth. Absolutely love what they're doing. And I've used a lot of their strategies with what I do. But they're making courses. And here's what Zuber did and Matt might do. Zuber has a course you can pay. It was like $320. I think January 1st it goes up to $399. So get in there quick, one rental at a time, how to get started. And it's going up to like $399. Totally, it's worth thousands, and he's charging like $400, less than that, right? Although it's going up a little. But you can pay $6 something to get an hour or a half hour of his time. So his time is compensated. So where it's somebody who took the course, has the baseline knowledge, and they paid a few $100s for a one-on-one Zoom call with the course creator to kind of fine-tune final questions that they have. Totally makes sense. So I don't have a course. I don't currently have an intent to make a course anytime soon, but I will someday, but not today. Right. And when I do, I might have that component where, hey, here's the course, you can take it, and here's this extra amount of whatever money that you can pay to have extra one-on-one time with me. Totally makes sense. So the viewer said 150 to 200, and Zuber is getting around 300. So I figured, and here's my number, and here's my analogy that is not kid friendly. So I am warning you in advance. I won't cuss, but this is an analogy that's not kid friendly. On my live stream, I said I wanted to make this video because I'm kind of going to be a hooker. And as hopefully everybody's heard the joke of the two people talking. It doesn't matter the gender. It could be guy and a girl or girl and a guy. It doesn't matter. Guy and guy, it doesn't matter. But one person asks the other person, would you sleep with me for $1 million? And the other person says, $1 million? Sure. What's to lose? The first person says, okay, so how about $50? The second person says, wait, $50 to sleep with you? What do you think I am, a hooker? And the first person says, of course you are. We've already determined that. Now we're negotiating price. So since there's a price you can pay, and I'm going to name it, that you can pay me to have a 1 hour Zoom call with me, that makes me a hooker. So a 1 hour Zoom call with me, who reached financial freedom, made work optional, and walked away from a job making 6 figures into a rental portfolio making multiple 6 figures now, I will charge $5,000. And that is the number. Write it down. And date, whatever today's day, I don't even know what day of the week it is. It's the financial freedom benefit. But if somebody wants to actually pay $5,000 for a 1 hour Zoom call, I'm a hooker. I'll do it. That's my negotiated price. A way to get around being able to do 1 hour Zoom calls with people, to make them happy, to help them reach financial freedom, to get the dopamine hit that I need from helping people get to financial freedom. I'm going to continue to do what I've been doing, though. A 1 hour Zoom call has a price tag of $5,000. And we're almost out of time. But on my weekly lives, not every week, but at least 2 weeks out of the month, so 2 hours a month, I give one away. I give away 55 minutes. It's not an hour. Matt pointed this out. If I charge $5,000 and I give one away, I'm creating a taxable event for somebody. So a 1 hour Zoom call costs $5,000. A 55-minute Zoom call is free and given away during my live streams. Sometimes I give it away to members. Sometimes I give it away to somebody who left a comment. Sometimes I give it away to somebody who leaves a comment after the video. Yes, I'm giving away the time. I'm going to benefit from it. I'm going to find a way to manipulate the YouTube algorithm to get this information to more people by getting comments and likes. But I don't want to create another job, right? So I don't want to be compensated, paid for my time talking to somebody. But I'm not stupid. If somebody out there wants to be parted with their $5,000, I'll take it. You would probably be better off taking that $5,000 and buying a bad rental and losing it all. You would learn more than you would in an hour talking to anybody. So $5,000 is better spent on an investment than a course. $500 on a course, on a talking to somebody an hour, sure, makes sense. But I'm not looking to create a job. It isn't going to be $5,000 an hour if I ever make a course and have that uptick, upsell thing. But I'm going to quickly look through the chat and see what the reaction is. So please do me a favor, not in the chat now, but after the video is done, leave a comment of what your reaction is to $5,000 for an hour with an investor. Did it make sense? Did I explain it well enough that it's worth paying for time with somebody who's done something you want to do? Like if I wanted to get into better shape, I'd hire a trainer. I'd actually pay them for their time. And someday I'll explain the exact amount of in shape that my target goal always is. And it doesn't involve a trainer. But if I did want to, have the flat stomach and the 6-pack, I wouldn't do it on my own. I'd have somebody who's done it teach me how, give me that discipline and that accountability buddy status. Absolutely understand it. But since it's not my goal to create a business, and it is my goal to share the information, let me know how I did. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with my random midday live stream. I appreciate it. We're at like a 50% ratio on likes. That's awesome. I'll be sending him this thing. Thank you, all-nighter. I appreciate it. Bill, howdy. Michelle, howdy. Howdy to everybody. Going to wear a sign that says over 1 million coffees politely refused. Absolutely, yes. Not everyone, but a lot of people say, hey, I am going to lunch with somebody this Saturday. Totally fine. I've met the guy before. We did a video together. So it's not like, hey, and I'm going to pay for my own lunch. When we go out to meet someone to eat, it's my rule. I pay for my own lunch. So I'm with you, Matt. Don't try to get my time by buying me a coffee. Buy my time by learning the basics and then asking the intelligent questions that say, hey, a conversation with this person is going to be productive for both of us. Awesome. Okay. Thank you all very much. I hope you have a day full of awesome. And tomorrow there is a random, because it's planned, midday live stream on the Lumberjack Landlords channel. I think 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 Eastern, or noon, somewhere around in there. So keep an eye out. Until my next video, thanks for coming to my Dion Talk.